Welcome everybody to this edition of Strong Perspective Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Keith Armstrong, along with my fellow hosts, Damon and Ja'Cory Armstrong. If you don't know, we're brothers, and this is our podcast. We appreciate you tuning in right now or later, but tune in later. Hopefully, you'll be looking at us on our YouTube channel. And look, if you're new, subscribe to our channel because we have great content and we have great people that come on and we're great. Tonight we're going to have a special guest, Tony Collins. He'll be tuning in with us. He's trying to get it together, and he'll be joining us momentarily. Tony works with my brother Ja'Cory. Also, he dabbles in acting, and he's a stand-up comedian. So we look forward to him joining us tonight. With that being said, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. Welcome. Damon, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing all right, man. I'm feeling blessed, man. I'm glad to be on here with my brothers, man. You know what I'm saying? It's a great time for me right now, man. I miss y'all, man. It's good to see y'all faces and hear your voices.
Always a pleasure, man. Ja'Cory, how are you, sir?
Good, sir. Maintaining, man. Feeling the same way my brother Damon is. Good to see y'all. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Everything is fine, man. No issues at this point.
Okay. Well, hey, Ja'Cory, you suggested before we move on, Mr. Collins to come on today. Give us, just a short impression on why you felt he was right for our podcast, and then we can move on.
I mean, well, from my observations, man, he's a good dude. He's one of the people who I have real conversations with. Not that I don't have real conversations with everybody, but we work the same, work on the same unit or whatever. So we spend a lot of time talking, man. He's a down to earth guy, real inviting, and he's genuine with everybody. You know what I mean? I've never seen any fake tendencies or anything like that, man. The man says it like it is, and his perspective is he's a wild dude, man. He's a wild dude.
Okay.
I'm really really happy for this opportunity to help get him out there.
Okay.
Not doing it for a while, I guess.
Oh yeah. Damon, we talked to him last night. Can you give just a short impression of how you and this is more or less just your impression of him from the short conversation we had last night?
Well, given his occupation, man, I'm one of those brothers that's gonna, glom on to, what it is he's trying to do in life, man. When he blow up, I'm gonna be like, yeah, I know that brother, man. You know what I'm saying? We kicked it for a minute. You know what I'm saying? And I'm following his career, and I hope he does well. And just being a part of that situation as it pertains to his life, man, would be a good thing, man. I would really appreciate it, man. That's my point.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I mean, he was a good dude, man. I mean, I like how he carried himself, man.
I agree.
It might motivate me, man, to become a full-fledged member of the social media faction of this country or whatever. As he said, a lot of his material is on was it Instagram.
Okay.
And I ain't got people be offended that I ain't got Instagram.
I don't either, bro.
Yeah, I know you got the Twitter. No, I ain't got the Twitter. I just got the Facebook.
Gotcha.
That's all I got.
Got you. Look, me, and I think I got more into it. I've always been a member, but I became more engaged in both Instagram and Twitter, and always been engaged in Facebook because that's where my family is. And once I retired, those other two, I became a little bit more engaged with them, not for my presence, even though lately I've been going live on Instagram. I just discovered that you could go live on it. And I've also done Facebook Live too, just to promote our podcast. So, I've come from that generation, and I claim it, that generation where it's still more like a tool than as opposed to being, the way things are being run. People depend on it these days, in my opinion. You know what I mean? So
I'm addicted to the rabbit hole, man. So I stay away. I got to stay away from getting too deep into that shit, because I'd be up all night, watching love and whatnot, Chicago fighting and all that stuff, man.
Yeah, all of that.
Man, these reality TV shows, they be beating the shit out of each other, man.
They do, but see that's their bread and butter, though. You know what I mean?
It was crazy.
To be
Let me
beaten.
cut you off. Go ahead, bro.
You know what I'm saying? It's your bread and butter. It's your bread and butter to be beaten and shit outside of a ring. That shit is.
You see, ain't no prize in that.
That's why people tune in.
It's crazy, man. It's just so entertaining. I just don't know why.
But here, because man, people looking for train wrecks, man.
That's real.
What's going
on, guys?
What's going on, brother?
Look at here. Look at here.
What's going on, man?
What's going on, brother?
Hey, blessed, brother. Ain't no complaining around here, man.
No doubt.
Blessed,
Welcome, brother.
Thank you, man. Sorry I'm late, man.
No. What I tell you last night, don't worry about that, because we're going to announce you anyway. People know.
Yes, sir.
We were talking about you, man, before you got on. It's all good.
Yes, sir.
The guest being late is good practice for us, because like when we start working with white people, they're gonna be there on time and shit, So
yeah, definitely. They all gonna be on time. Believe that. They'll be there at 6:55.
Hey man, if y'all don't go ahead with that stereotype, not all white people on time, man. Come on, man. Stop that.
And they get there early and shit, so they go and look them up in the bagel trays and shit.
Okay.
And touch everything before everybody get there.
I had too much macaroni and cheese last night. I'm backed up.
Look, first of all
that cheese, man.
Look, they touch all the bagels and the donuts because that exerts their dominance. But see, it's a silent dominance though. Nobody knows.
Oh yeah, I've been around a long time. I see what you're doing there, buddy. I see you, pal.
There's a nice raisin in a potato salad right there, buddy.
Hey, man, try this. Hey, man, I see cat hair, man. Oh, the shit on the stove, man. Every now and then.
Hey, look. She helps me stir.
Yeah. He's my sous chef.
And if y'all notice, cats don't put no water on their ass. They just lick.
Yeah. Damn, they own ass.
Yeah.
lick their owner.
Yes, sir. Hey, look. I'm gonna let you. I'm gonna hold this. I'm gonna let you see what we do. What's customary is just ask you about your day today, Tony.
Okay.
So, how was your day today, sir?
My day was great, man. Like I said, man, I never complained about anything, man. It was a great day. My daughter a little under the weather. I just had to wait till her mom come and get her, but she all right, so she a soldier. But my day was great, man. I woke up this morning. That's the first thing. Open my eyes, see my kids. It's a blessing right there, man. I can't ask much more than that, man. Got a roof over my head, food in my mouth, kids straight. I'm good. So
That's good.
That's it
That's
for me.
good.
That's real. That's real.
How about you guys, man? How about you?
Look, we good, man. Hey, look, and the thing about it is, I'm retired since 2019. So one thing about it is, as I get older, you know how when we're youngins at 21, we think 30 years old, and when we're 30, we think 40 years old, and all of that.
Yeah.
When you retire, it goes with the job too. When you retire, you think, especially if you're careful, you think that that's the end of your involvement with the rest of the world. Now you go fishing, you go mowing the lawn, you go whatever, right? But really and truly, it's not the end, because what you have to do is figure out exactly what your place is, right? And then you start to interact again, and you inject yourself into everything else. You feel me?
Definitely.
So let me do this.
Before you say that, Keith, I am not gonna let you fuck up my notion of retirement, brother. I'm not gonna let you do it. When I retire, I'm gonna be the old man sitting on his porch getting high and spraying the water hose at the little kids, screaming, "Get the fuck off my lawn!"
Get out of here, you little fucker.
Damn.
That's my dream.
That's a.
Hey, look.
That's my dream.
Hey, Jaquari, and you know how you make up for just being a jerk the whole year? You give them the big old king size Snicker bars on Halloween.
Here you go, baby. Here you go, baby.
Hey.
Here you go.
Hey, I'm gonna be that motherfucker. I'm gonna be that guy. Excuse me, I'm gonna be that guy who's gonna be talking about with the ring joint where you can talk to people who ring your doorbell. Get out off my porch, man. Yeah, I'm in here.
Yeah.
That's me now.
I didn't call the popo on you too.
That's me when people try to sell that, come in and try to sell stuff. Like, what the fuck you want? I'm trying to fuck on, man. That's me now.
Yeah.
Somebody come by the house trying to sell magazines. I try to sell some shit out my house. Like, I can't use no jet or nothing, man. But I got a goddamn sleeping bag, man. I got a goddamn a Keurig and shit, man. I had to go cheap.
Yeah.
I feel you on that.
So Tony, what we usually do is me, Damon, and Jaquari, we have 3 different segments. I usually take the first, Jaquari take the middle, and then Damon bring us on home. So This is what we're gonna do. Once we get into it, now that everybody's here, what we're gonna do? I'm gonna start with my segment, and it's usually about 2 minutes or so. And really, it just, we actually name our segments. Damon, he hasn't named his segment yet, but mine is Big Dog's Perspective.
He going strong. Talking about that.
Yeah, Jaquari named that for me, man.
Oh, is that what it is? My fault. So this is my segment. It's called Big Dog's Perspective, right? So what I want to do, and we probably speak on the same subject later on today, but what I want to do is read a definition for you, because what it is it's not something that I'm like adamant about or think is wrong, but sometimes I want people to understand what my definition of this particular thing is, and the definition of humble, right? I think we talked about it last night. But the definition of humble is having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance, right? So ever since I was a young guy, I always had a problem with humble. Now, I'm 6'9". 300 pounds right now. But when I was in college, 6'9", 245, 250. I've always been that kind of presence in my life. And when I met people, I was being myself, but people always say, "Oh, you're a great guy. And the one thing I like about you is you're humble." Right? They always said that to me. And when I was younger, I took it, but it went down. It was a struggle for me to accept. Not because I was against it or anything like that. It just felt weird. So when it came down to it, as I gotten older and started to understand, it was being humble to me. Excuse me.
Fighting the ghost, bro.
I just dropped something. I know. My wife.
Let me talk. Let me say something.
Yes, indeed. Yes,
You looking for your medicine bag?
I'm sorry, guys.
Just make sure you got some H2O next to you, man. When you
Look, I'm gonna tell you the funny thing about it is you can tell when your loved one loves you, because when you're doing something that you like to do, they want to be a part of it. Right. But going back to being humble, I never liked it. And not in a real negative way, but I never liked it because I always felt like being humble was for the other person who's calling you humble. Me, I was always raised to, if you have an ability, if you have, God gifted you with an ability, He gifted you with something that was special, you need to embrace it. Now, on the negative end of that scale is you being an asshole and you making people bend to your will because you have this particular skill. I have a problem with that. But I don't have a problem where I have to make you feel comfortable with me because I've done something great. Really and truly, it's your character that these people see. It's not the ability that you've done. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's like, say, I'm a basketball player, right? Say if I scored the winning basket or did something, and I sat down before an interview and said, listen, I give it to my teammates, which is true. I give it to my coach. I give it to my upbringing that brought me to this point, that gave me the courage and the confidence to do this, right? People equate that to being humble because they want to feel sometimes you're so great or good that people don't want to feel intimidated by what you just did, even though you're not projecting it on them. You feel what I'm saying? So I wanted to speak on humble for the simple fact that no, let's not erase it and let's not be all this, but let's stop putting humble for great acts, because it has nothing to do with the act. It has something to do with this man or this woman has great character as they speak to you, when they have time for you, when they answer your questions, when they make time for you when you want them to make time for you.
I've always found it confusing, man, why the world would require that alpha personality humble themselves. That's a contradiction. It's an absolute contradiction, man. I mean, I've been through the same, scenarios, Keith. And just being a person of large stature, man. Anybody over 6 feet, people always want you to be soft-spoken, man. People always want you to be affable and approachable and shit, man. But that's just not who we are, without practice.
Without practice.
Yeah, I mean, I see it. I mean, the person who I am at work, man, I've had to cultivate that person. You know what I mean? I've had to develop certain communication skills, man, that I thought was necessary to bring to that atmosphere because, it could be an alarming state, man. It's an alarming place, man. You're around doors slamming all day. You're around, a high level of structure at all times. You know what I mean? And me personally, man, I couldn't operate successfully, man, under all that constant pressure myself, man. So a lot of times, I find myself, just off in my own little corner, just trying to do the best I can to be productive throughout the day.
No doubt. No doubt.
For
Tony,
me, humble, man. For me, if I say the word humble, man, I always go back to respecting yourself because I think all of us been in situations where we had times we had to humble ourselves, regardless of where you at, where you been, or how you may grew up. I'll speak for myself. I consider myself humble because of my upbringing, knowing that I had a strong mother who stayed on my back to make sure I graduated high school, college, did things I wanted to do, and she humbled me early, telling me that nothing is given. You have to work for everything you got. I didn't realize that until I was like in my 20s, because as a teenager growing up, your mama do what you do to help you get what you get. But as I got older and got my own kids, it really humbled me because my mother was always gonna be there for me. But now that my mother has been retired for 20 years, I'm able to take care of my mother and be humble in the aspect of her just knowing that the same way she had my back, I still got her back. So that what humble means to me. I mean, respecting yourself and listening to others' advice, that means a lot to you. That's in your corner. So that's what it means to me. If I had to break humble down, that's what I would describe it as. If it had to put it in different, respecting others and listening to others' opinions who have the same story or similar story to yourself. That's humble, man.
So
Damon, I want you. Let Damon chime in, and then you can ask your question to Kawhi.
When I think about humility, man, for me, it's this, man. I've always believed.
So, Damon, humility and humble are the same thing to you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is. For me, humility is understanding the fact that, if you believe in a higher power, man, you understand that higher power's biggest miracle is to have billions of people on the planet, but none of us are exactly the same. So what that does, what that tells me is that we see things different. We see and understand things different. We take it in differently, as it pertains to our purpose and what we are meant for. You know what I'm saying? So humility for me, man, is not the understanding of what people think about me but the things that challenge me. You know what I'm saying? What challenges me is if I got an ego and I go into a situation where somebody respects me and I disrespect them because of my ego, I have to have an awareness of that. You know what I'm saying? No matter how many times it takes me to take that step, I have to have an awareness to it because it affects people. You know what I'm saying? People's opinion about me don't affect them because that's their opinion. You see what I'm saying? How I present myself is what affects them. You know what I'm saying? What I'm bringing to the table, how I am towards myself, my fellow man and woman. You know what I'm saying? And that involves and incorporates ego and all that stuff. How you gonna check your ego, man, if you don't think anybody on your level? It's not gonna happen. And especially if you're offended by what they say, hey man, you asshole. Okay. And that's your problem, not mine. You know what I'm saying? They can come to that conclusion, but I'm not being shown in my own personal experience that I am that. And that requires that humility, that, you know what I'm saying? If you just by chance hurt somebody, man, because you have an ego, and they bring that to your attention, and you say, I didn't know you felt that way, and I didn't know I did that. That's self-awareness right there. Any asshole can be on the internet and be talking about, man, you a sucker, you ain't this and you ain't that. Are you gonna pay attention to that cat? because as far as you're concerned, you don't know. They don't know you. You know what I'm saying? Humility comes from the people that love you and recognize you. And if you offend them, then you got to start paying attention to shit. Am I making sense?
Yeah, I get that. I like the way you broke out the word humble into humility, though. I like that. I
Yeah.
like
You know what I'm
that.
saying?
Or
Do
you
you guys?
had something?
Yeah. Do you guys see a difference between uh, a person being humble and a person being broken?
A person being humble and a person being what?
Broken.
Broken?
Yeah.
And what aspects of being broken, though? Because, broken can mean, so much in so many words. I mean,
Yeah.
because being humble can be as respectful, but broken can be respectfully broken too. To me, that's my opinion. You can be broken and still be humble in the same aspect because depending on how broken you are, your humbleness still can oversee you being broken.
Well,
So,
So it's layers to that then.
in
yeah,
regards to attitude, okay, we've all had contact in our professional lives. We're working with young people, right?
yeah,
Some young people, are intelligent and wise enough to understand when somebody's trying to, show them how to be humble and teach them how to be humble or whatever. Then there's some who, who are difficult, who are knuckleheads or whatever, and I pay attention to people's approach to those kids, and to me, it kind of seems like they figure they need to break these kids down, break their spirits or whatever, just to make it easier for them to maintain, or for them to be maintained in certain environments or whatever. I mean,
I get that. I
follow.
get that because you want your job to be easier, right? But the thing about it is, it goes in the line of what I was. Listen to what I'm saying to you. And you may not agree with this, but I think the word humble is misused because a lot of times when somebody is humble, it's for the person outside of them. It's not for the actual human being that's being humble or being asked to be humble. It's the people on the outside's comfort. See what I'm saying?
Isn't that being broke down though?
But it's not for but it's not.
But that's why I said it though, Danny.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I wouldn't apply it to making my job easier. I mean, we don't have easy jobs, man. It's we're never really gonna have an easy day. Our day filled with turmoil, you know, could be considered an easy day. Corrections is goddamn seasonal. You know what I mean? So sometimes we chilling, sometimes we not. So I don't give a damn
Yeah.
about the job is the job, no matter what day I go. But I seem to, sometimes I pick up on things. We might be talking about specific people or whatever, and the people who are responsible for maintaining these people, in the security aspect or whatever. You know, it's like there's not a lot of rope giving. They have to earn the rope.
I
They
get it.
definitely have to earn the rope. But it's just some people who won't give up any slack. You know,
But what in
but
what aspect though, man? Towing the line, I mean, that's 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 um that's not individuality, man. That's not a person who's trying to find themselves. That's them falling into a system.
Well,
Is what I'm saying.
I
got to
think
say,
I
Towing the
think
line.
I think you have to
I'm
go through steps to be able to establish your own
Right,
individuality.
and the steps require what for you to know thyself, right?
No, to follow the rules.
Okay, so what if you buck against the rules? All four of us is black men. There's been plenty of times we bucked against
No.
unfair treatment
Hold on. Now, listen to what I'm saying to you.
in terms of systems.
We're speaking about where Tony and Jaquari is.
Okay, then I'll
That
listen.
situation that they're in. Now, if you want to think about the whole, like outside of that, I agree with you totally. But I thought we were just speaking on what they do for a living.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
What we
I'll
do is,
listen.
what we do is parent, man. I mean, so it applies to the world. I think.
Yeah, I think
I get it.
I agree. Rules in the workplace are maintaining your path of control. But at the end of the day, you have to come home to your family. Like the hardest thing for me is having a bad day at work. I don't call it a bad day, but a stressful day at work dealing with the children we deal with that doesn't have any morals or don't know how to be humble because of their upbringing. We come to where we work at and have to bring that into the building and show them how to be, or try to direct them, not show them, but try to show them directions to be who they should be as a person. Not trying to throw it in their face or try to, say, man, this is how you should be. No, we try to teach them the way, try to tell them all the time. But then when we leave, when they're not there, or we come back to work the next day or the day after that or the weekend before that, all that they learn is gone out the window because the person that we tried to teach it, somebody else came in and they're not humble enough. So now their whole mindset is different. Like, why I need to be like this and this person? Because our job is mainly to teach the youth. That's how me and Mr. Armstrong's job. It's mainly to teach you, give them different programming and teach them. But everybody doesn't do that because everybody don't come in the same door with the same attitude. Some people come to work for a check. Some people come to work to help. And you can honestly tell those who come in for a check and those who come in for help. And if it's all about the money, I tell people all the time at work, Mr. Owens going to tell you this: the plasma bank always open. You want to get plasma, that's the way to get money. Y'all tell them to nobody. But our job is mainly to teach these youth how to be who they can be and work hard for what they do. Because some of these kids we have children of their own. So if you don't know it, how you gonna teach your kids to know something? The best thing we always hit is at work. When they go home, they boys are happy to see them. But while they inside, they can't get in touch with their boys. So we try to let them know your boys ain't your boys if you can't talk to them while you in here. Humble yourself enough to know that you got caught. Your boy still doing what he need to do, and he ain't helped you maybe bit since you was in. So, yeah.
And when they in court, they bite their damn selves.
Exactly, man. Exactly.
How many times, Mr. Collins, have you been away from work for the 2 days, the 3 days that you're off or whatever, and come back and have to put out fires that other people set?
It happens often, man. It happens often. That's a reoccurring thing. It's a reoccurring thing. When I go back tomorrow, I know I'm about to try to put fires out.
Absolutely.
I know. So.
Yeah, and that all pertains to individuality, though. That's the person that's separate from the system, man. Trying to function within it. How do you get a kid to function within the system, keeping their own personal self?
Honestly, I think planting seeds, sometimes what we try to do is we try to group it all together, plant the seeds and sow the seeds, then we cultivate it, right? But sometimes really what our journey may be when it comes to particular individuals is just planting it, where there's going to be somebody down the line where it's very right away, or down the line who's going to sow the seed so it could grow within that child, that individual. See what I'm saying? Because sometimes, bro, we don't have time. When we working, we don't have time. We can always follow up. We can always do the different things, right? Really and truly, what you got to do is really find the right soil to plant a seed. See, hey, Tony, this is what we get from our Father. Our Father planted seeds. And some of them, he actually cultivated them and grew them within us, right? But some of them, whether he did it purposely or inadvertently, was cultivated down the line as we grew into individuals. See what I'm saying? I think it's a beautiful thing when you take on responsibility for individuals, right? But you gotta, and I'm learning this. I haven't learned it past tense. This is present tense. You have to understand that sometimes you are not the person to actually help that seed to grow, but you may be the person to plant the seed.
The hardest thing, man, I had to come to realize, man, is that I do not have a personal stake in what these dudes got going on. So when they have a failure, man, when they drop the ball, it's not a reflection on me. A lot of years, man, before I started working with the program when I was in the unit, man, setback happened or whatever, man, I would take it personally, man, because I mean, I like to think, man, that I develop or try to develop relationships, my guys or whatever, but that's not. You just said it the best way, Keith. I mean, a lot of times, man, they dudes don't talk to me or about shit that they got going on, man. They don't get we don't get real deep conversations like Mr. Collins has with them dudes, man. He has a relationship with those dudes. Not many people can come, on any unit in the building and see, the wildest knuckleheads, acting a fool and walk up to him and say, "What the fuck is you doing? Sit down somewhere." That's who he is, and they listen. Everybody can't do that.
Yeah.
Everybody can't do that. So I got a lot of respect for Mr. Collins and how he move on the job. You know what
Now, I thank you for that, man, because I tell people all the time, it was room for like you and Mr. Morris, and Mr. Morris, he was our record coordinator, and Mr. Armstrong himself, man. I learned a lot from them dudes, and I ain't saying that because I got them on the podcast. I tell them this all the time. I came from a prison system, so I was a complete knucklehead when I arrived. I was doing things I did at the prison, inside that job. I'm talking about hands on, literally hands on. Because disrespect is a major thing to me. I don't take it from nobody, and I don't give it. So when I receive it, my tendencies are bad at times. So talking to them, Mr. Morgan, Mr. Armstrong kind of broke me down. I was like, look, man, you ain't at the prison no more. Because I'm sure you guys know at the prison, it was hands on all day long. Or no talking to nobody. The jails ain't no we ain't talking. You're going to get it in. That's it. I see you in 15 minutes. That's what it is. So I had to get that out of my head when I got there. I'm one of them guys where, to be honest, I should have been fired a long time ago. But somebody that really, what I'm saying, pull you in the office, be like, look, you gotta calm down, man. And I'm like, what you mean calm down? This is what's supposed to happen. This ain't that place. And they humble me, man. And I'm thankful. I tell my wife all the time, like, yo, I'm different now, man, at this job. I still get on the kid ass, but I'm just like now, like, yo, I gotta, cause I know these kids don't have, that person to get on their back like me and Mr. Armstrong do. So when I get on their back, they okay, Mr. Collins, all right, cause it's real life for us.
When they turn up, it's a reason.
No doubt.
All right, what you do, motherfucker?
Yeah.
Damon.
It's always, he's always giving room to come back though.
Bring us home, and then Jaquari, we're gonna go into your segment. And once we're done with Jaquari's segment, Tony, we want you to tell us about yourself, what you got going on, let people know who you are, what you're about.
So we're still talking about humility, being humble, and all that stuff, right, on the job. As far as me being humble, because I used to work with juveniles and stuff too, man. And I used to tell them all the time. I said, "Hey man, look, y'all. I understand y'all realize y'all in this program, man. So y'all trying to figure out how to get over and all that stuff, And y'all talking to a cat in a disrespectful way that you would never talk to them on the street. You know what I'm saying? But you depend on the staff to keep you safe or whatever, right? And it's like, look, man, if you was on the street, if it was a weak dude who trying to puff his chest out, if you was on the street, would you be saying the things that you saying, man? You know what I'm saying? Would you be doing that, bro? You in this program, you have to graduate from this program, man. So you have to try to figure out how to navigate who you are, man, in this program. You know what I'm saying? Do are you gonna be that kid who's gonna try to take advantage because you are being kept safe, or you gonna figure out how to survive out here, man? Because once you leave this program, you going back to the street, bro.
Glad you said.
You know what I'm saying? You going back to the street, so you have to figure out why you here. It's not about what you think about me or how you feel about me or this program. You have to figure out how you gonna survive and not get caught up again. You know what I'm saying? And that's progression. So in essence, that's a form of humbling yourself. You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't, I can talk all kind of shit about whooping somebody's ass, but I ain't really cut like that. Okay. You gonna try to be clever than the next man? That don't work either. You know what I'm saying? Find yourself. Find where you strong at, man. This is what this is the whole purpose of it. Find where you strong at and then build from that. And then building from that, finding your humility, man. I can't this dude called me the B word. I can't step to him because right back just that quick, I'm right back where I just graduated from. You know what I'm saying? You got to use your head. You got to think. Okay, what's my purpose? Try to figure out what your purpose is. You know what I'm saying? And in figuring out what that purpose is, then you navigate to the point where you comfortable trying to fulfill your life, man. You know what I'm saying? Trying to fulfill what your purpose is in life. Other people talking about you and other people passing judgment on you, that shit don't work. That's why you're in this place in the first place. You know what I'm saying? How you gonna survive out here? Because especially as young black men, you gotta figure out how to survive, man. Because there's traps everywhere. But that inner thing within you that makes you great, that gives you purpose, that's what you implement in your travels, man, and trying to survive this world and being the person you was put on this earth to be. All the other stuff, man, is just other people talking.
Hey, before we move on to you, the quarry, Tony and Damon, you use the word humble, I feel, in the correct way of being humble. Because what you did was use it in the word where those young men and women that you deal with and dealt with had to navigate their lives or to navigate through for their lives to be in a better place. You know what I'm saying? I need to point that out because I know people in the future, if they see this, they want to debate me and humble. But like I said, I think it's being used in the wrong way, and you guys used it, I feel, in the right way. Jaquari, it's time for your segment, brother. It's on you.
All right, man. The name of my subject, my segment is called Uncle Spoke Say. And today I want to talk about a quote I heard from 50 Cent, man. That's a deep dude, very deep dude, man. He said, power means the same thing in every language. Power means the same thing in every language. But as I started, to dissect that comment, man, I started to think about, what power means to me, man. What sort of power do I bring to the situation, to any situation? And I think that's a question that it would be worth every black man, you know, to ask yourself, what's your power? What power do you bring? What power do you bring to situations? My particular power, man, is the power of the quiet storm. You know what I mean? That's I don't know what was it? I was a little kid, man. It was a WJZZ, the local jazz station back in
Yep.
yeah, and the Smokey Robinson song, "Quiet Storm Rolling Through My Mind." I was a little bitty boy, man. I said, "God damn it, that's me. That's who I
WJZZ, the
that
jazzy
defines
one.
that defines me perfectly, man. And I don't need for my power to be exuded in an aggressive way. You know what I mean? I've done that before when I was a child, but I like to believe that I've cultivated my temperament, up to this point, man, to where uh, it doesn't have to be volatile. It shouldn't be volatile. It should be, teaching moments, man. When I have to exude that power. You know what I mean? And over the years, I think I've become pretty good at it. But what's your personal power, man? What do you bring to the table? You know, the next time you with the fellas, y'all having, a little bit of brown or whatever, some steam. Bring that question up, man. What's your personal power? They might joke you. They might, ridicule you. That's what friends do, man. But 9 times out of 10, they're gonna go home and they're gonna think about that question. What's your personal power, man? And what steps have you taken to develop
I think
it?
that's I ain't gonna cut sorry. I ain't gonna cut you off, but every time I go into the control room at our job, Mr. Henson, he asked me a similar question and I'm still having a hard time answering that question. But he one of them guys that shout out to Mr. Henson, man, good guy at work, man. It's like my OG, like Mr. Armstrong is. But he asked me a similar question like that too. That's kind of I've been thinking about that question for like a month now, probably. My personal power, and I really don't have a direct answer for you. So I'm still trying to find my power. When I'm with guys, it's mostly like I'm the one that I guess I'm the one that can resolve things. Like with as far as like they saying, man, I gotta such, man, how I supposed to do this, and I'll be like, my answer to everything is pray. That's my answer to everything. Even when I'm upset myself, I say, man, look, don't worry, don't stress yourself over it. I'm losing hair over it now, so just pray about it, bro. It'll get fixed one day, not immediately, but it'll get fixed. So if I had to say my personal power, I always tell people to like a short comment, be like, pray. It'll come. So that's my personal power. Be able to let people know, believe in themselves. You know what I'm saying? Pray about it. If I had to say it, I'll say believe in yourself. And Mr. Henson, actually, I'm telling that the moment I get to work. My personal power is directing people to do the right thing, believing in themselves. That's what I'm gonna say tomorrow.
That's our
Thank you.
He's talking about our coworker Tim Henson, and he will be
Yeah,
here
that's
on the 21st. If you ain't got
my
nothing,
guy.
if you got nothing to do, Tony, come on, man. Hop back on with us. We'll
I
vibe
will.
out.
I will. I probably can do that, man. Do that, man. That would be great. That's my guy, man.
Let me tell you how I would answer that. But this is my 58 year, right? Personal power is doing the things that you know. Because if you can identify your strength, it's what's going to end up happening is your strength eventually is going to become your weakness because you lean on it too much. You see what I'm saying? Now, Tony, it has nothing to do. I'm not offering this to you, but I'm telling you how I feel about it. Because what I do is I rely on what I do well, and I just keep it going.
Okay.
I mean, I keep it going. It's consistency, everything. Like Henson and Jaquari might have something other in mind, but I just wanted to answer that question because Jaquari asked it, and you told me Mr. Henson asked you also. So it's
So
like,
similar to that. It was similar, yeah.
yeah. So it's just more or less. If I were to answer it personally, is understand my strengths, but also understanding that my strengths evolve into other things. You feel what I'm saying? And not to get too deep, but it evolves to other things that's going to carry me through my life. You know, like Jaquari speaks highly of it because I rely on Jaquari because Jaquari and Damon are fantastic judges of character. So I automatically like that when he says or Damon says, "Yo, this guy is here," right? I have no other questions because I understand them. You know what I'm saying? So it's like a segment at a time. That's all. You know, like I said, I'm not trying to get too deep in it. This is what it is.
Thank you for that. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Damon, you have, and then Tony, we're gonna go into tell us about who you are, what's going on with you.
Okay.
Damon.
My personal problem, man, is we spoke about earlier, is through humility and whatever, and that's me learning from my own mistakes, man. You know what I'm saying? However it comes to me. And the one thing at 57 years old, the one thing that I've come to recognize is that me speaking to people doesn't change anything because people are on guard. They're on guard. You know what I'm saying? But the thing that works for me most, man, is the people, man, that comes to me later on down the years and say, "Hey, man, I watched you and I heard what you said and this and that and that, and I'll be looking at this person and be like, I don't even know you." You know what I'm saying? I don't even know who you are. I've never met you in my life. You know what I'm saying? So my point is, my personal power, man, is leading by example. You know what I'm saying? Leading by example. That's my personal power because the people that know me and we get into our conversations, our discussions, and our arguments, because they think they know me, they're not going to look at what I'm producing, the person that I'm trying to be. They're gonna judge me by who they think they know I am. You know, and that never works, man. That never works. What works is you allowing people to, you know, if they choose to view you in a certain way, in a certain aspect, you gotta allow them to pick and choose what the hell they like about you. You know what I'm saying? What they like about you. You can't make them do it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let them pick and choose because we all got kids. Our kids, man, do they really listen to us, or do they pick and choose what it is about you that moves them? You know what I'm saying? And that has nothing to do with the argument or that thing that you're trying to set in place because you want them to have a better life. They're individuals, man. They're gonna pick and choose what makes sense to them. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it is. So how do we move? How do we motivate? I think 80% of the time we do it not knowing we doing it, man. Being our best selves.
Good responses, gentlemen. Good responses, man. That's that's well. Before I end the segment, man, solid 50 Cent. That quote. Power is his name in every language. That came from him. Hey, 50. Hey, man, put me in a movie, man. I dare you. I dare you to put me rich.
No doubt. No doubt. All right, Tony.
All right, man. Once
This
again,
is
good
about
afternoon.
this is about you. Hold on. Let me set it up, man, because
Okay. My bad. My fault.
this is about you, and we want to let everybody know who you're about, what you're about, when you're about, and just go. And we got you. It's on you.
Good afternoon, world. My name is Tony Collins. People know me as comedian Tin Man from Richmond, Virginia. I'm a comedian. I act, I'm production mode. I've been on shows with Michael Blackson, Darian Fleet, Guy Torrey, etc. Been in plays called the Family Gospel Plays, all type of engagement. Father of three, Zaria, Kaylee, Rhea. I'm their dad. I love them to death. Very humble man. Blessed. How can I put it, man? I just love life, man. I'm just blessed to be able to open my eyes every morning and see the sun or the moon or the rain, whatever comes before. I like to see it. Um, like I said, I love life, man. You can catch me on Instagram at what is my Instagram? Oh, Tony Collins versus Tin Man. I'm on Facebook and Tony with Tin Man Collins. I'm on Twitter. Tin Man versus Tony Collins. I'm usually at your grandma's house around 8:30 before the lights go out. What else? What else, man? Let me see. What else, man? Yeah, with the grandma house. At the grandma house. What else, man? That's about it, man. You know what I mean? I like being around positive people, man. Be positive. I always want to be around it. I smoke a lot of cigars, so if you see me, I'm smoking a cigar. That keeps me humble. I'm a humble smoker cigar. I gave it to Armstrong cigar. I don't know if you smoked it already.
I'm waiting.
I love me a nice cigar, man. I love a nice cigar. That's my thing. That's my time. I can just sit in. I'm in my man cave now. I know y'all can see the wall ain't been painted yet. My lady kind of. I'm in the garage right now. She's got her coupon and stuff to my left. I can't never have nothing to myself, but it's okay. I'm in my man cave where I smoke my cigars at, but she keep her little chair.
Tony, that's marriage, man. But go ahead.
I know,
it
man.
ain't got to be painted, Tony.
I know. I try to. I'm in my little man cave now. You know, it's just my part of the house. I can come out here, and I don't care if it's raining, whatever. I'm in here and I'm chilling. But all the time, she got to put her coupon and stuff in here. And my kids got their bikes out here and coolers, and they take over. But it's football season now. I'm a Cowboys fan, so they know how to leave me alone for a couple hours when I'm out here. But like I said, man, I'm humbly and I'm blessed, man. I'm very thankful for you guys, man, for having me on your podcast tonight, man. It means a lot to me. You know, I'm not saying that because I'm on here. Like I mentioned yesterday, man, if it wasn't for me, I wouldn't be on here. That's just how I am as a person. If it's not for me, I'm not gonna force myself to be anywhere I shouldn't be. So again, I thank you guys for having me on your podcast, man.
I respect that, man. That's
No, man. We thank you. You know what I mean? Because that's the thing about it is, like I told you last night, what we're about is the folks that we invite on. This is, and people always, when I say everyday people, they misunderstand it because they try to minimize it. See, everyday people is what makes this world go round. This is what makes people famous because everyday people pay attention to those people. You know what I'm saying? It grinds. It connects everything. We are the connector. Period. What we do. Look, me and my brothers respect you because you look. Basically, you're famous right now. But look, with us, the Armstrong brothers respect you to be a megastar, and we want our due because you know why? Because we know you.
Yes, sir. That we said last night too.
Hey, Tony, when you blow up, I'm gonna talking about.
We know you. Hey,
I'm gonna just pass you a cigar.
Dog right there.
I'm gonna send you cigars, man. I'm gonna send you cigars out, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, I'm gonna talk about you like I may know you for 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my dog.
Yes, sir.
For sure, you got that, man. For sure, I got you. I'm about to put that quote up on my page, on my Facebook page too, Mr. Armstrong. So I wrote it down on my little envelope I got in my man cave. I wrote it down. I'm about to put that quote up for the night, and I'm gonna sleep on that quote tonight. I appreciate that quote, man. The power quote. I'm putting that up tonight.
No doubt, man. No doubt.
Hey, which one of them girls is driving, man?
Oh, the oldest one, 17-year-old.
Yeah, she be pimping, boy. That
Hey
that
man,
that be feed that thing, don't
hey
Yeah.
man, look, yes, I picked her up from work last night. I thought when I was over there with y'all, and I picked her up from work last night. I said, "You want to drive?" She was like, "No." I said, "Since I'm in your Uber tonight, where we going next?" She said, "To Wawa." So I get in Wawa, and I said, "Well, go ahead and Wawa, bring me back a tea." So she said, "You need to go in there with me." I said, "For what? I don't want that. I just want a tea." She said, "I need your card." I said, "For what?" I said, "When you the Uber driver, you don't use the Uber driver card. You pay for it yourself." She said, "Well, you Uber driver slash dad, so I need your card." I said, "Oh Lord." When they when
pimping.
they paid for it, you pimping, man.
No doubt.
You pimp.
Hey,
Now she sleep,
hey,
And don't
man, remember they know my social,
oh
they
shit.
know
man.
my
Like,
debit,
Oh,
all that.
yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Hey, Tony, that's how it be, man. That's how it
man,
be.
definitely, man,
You know.
definitely. Now
Um.
she's sleeping. I'm like, okay, whatever. So,
All right. Well, look. Let's do this, man. And really, I'm just gonna throw some things out here. And feel free if y'all got something y'all want to talk about, talk to me about it, and then we'll go from there. But let me start this off. Let's talk about the brick lady, right? And really and truly, let me set it up, and then I want to get you guys' opinion. First of all, a couple weeks ago, we talked about it on one of our podcasts. We talked about the woman who showed up, and what ended up happening was she was on social media and said somebody, a man, a brother, hit her with a brick. And the shock value of seeing her face swollen up when she was in the emergency room, that hit all of us. So, we all, men and women, coming to her rescue. Like, yo, why would brothers stand around? Because she accused brothers of doing it. Why would brothers stand around while she get hit with a brick and this and that? Face swollen up. She's on that, right? Then maybe about a week or so later, things started leaking out, right? We talked about this last night. Things started leaking out about, well, hold on. She did this before a couple years ago, but it was on a domestic tip, right? And I'm being vague because I don't want to sway anybody, but you guys understand the details of this. And she ended up getting $4,000 for it, right? So this recent event, what ended up happening was people started to, hey man, wait a minute. I was there. Like the men that she accused of just standing around, now people started interviewing her. Like, yo, why y'all do it? He said, hold on. We don't know nothing about this. The two young boys, right? We don't know nothing about this. We was in the store and we came out, and this is what she was talking about. But she was blaming them for saying that they didn't do anything, right? Then on TikTok, right? Where it is the best investigative journalist in the fucking world, right? There was a young man on there who said that he knew, because he lived in the same city, he knew the nurse that was in the emergency room. And the nurse, and he showed, what do they say these days, show receipts, where the nurse said, hey, she came in to get saline extracted from her face, right? Now I'm setting it up for you guys. I just want your opinion about it. So this is not an indictment on whether she is telling the truth or not, right? But I'm giving all the information. Okay? Now, we'll start with you, Jaquari. Your opinion about it. What do you think?
Man, I mean, it was shocking, man. You know, the wound that she either received or created herself. It was shocking to the point, man, where I was like, Jesus Christ, man, how could how's she still alive? She should have took a head blow like that. She a tough motherfucker, man. But
And talking shit too.
Yeah,
yeah,
Where your brothers at?
talking a lot of shit.
Yeah, I mean, but we gotta. I mean, and I gotta work Monday and everything, so we got to take into account the fact that they was African, they wasn't black.
Oh my God. What the fuck? Okay. Go ahead and finish though.
They hit that with bricks all
Wow.
the time, huh, bro?
Wow. Wow. But go ahead, dog. My fault.
I'm just joking, man. I'm just joking.
I mean, I'm not trying to step on toes, man, but you always the goddamn bad guy, right? Let's get this shit straight. Like shit, if the motherfucker wasn't born in Detroit or Chicago or goddamn Brisbane, he black, then he foreign, he ain't black. Fuck that. Just like Europeans and shit, they not white, they English, they German. Fuck that. You know what I mean? But I mean, I just it really fucks me up. Kind of put me in a middle space to where I always gotta when the fire alarm rings, I always gotta run to the fire, man. Every single time you have to, man. Tawana Brawley, the lady in Georgia with the Amber Alert, who was laid up in the hotel fucking. Everybody performing shit. This lady. I mean, just for the sake of the protection of black women, don't goddamn matter, man. When these women got to come running, it's as simple as that. So whether she stayed with it or not, it was a practice drill, man. It was Einstein practice drill. I think.
Yeah, and hey, there's a emotional thing with the practice joint, wasn't it?
Yeah. Fire drills it's supposed to put you like in an emotional place to where that's where the preparedness comes from.
But on some bullshit though, I mean, I'm just speculating.
Damien's on you.
Man, listen, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I was in my feelings, man. Straight up, I'm like, wow, cause I got a grandbaby, man. I'm with every day, I'm thinking about future shit, future offenses and all that, and I'm like, I ain't going for that bullshit. Then come to find out it might have been staged. It's like, I really don't. What can you say, man? What can you say? It's damn, dog, man. Who would do that? Who would stage something like that, man? Allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Because the four of us, it affected us, man, in a way that we want to take on the world now. We got to protect our women. I don't give a shit what comes with it. And then come to find out that it might be allegedly staged. Come on, dog, man. That's an emotional roller coaster, man. And I really don't know what to say to that, man. What's the truth?
Can't care.
Yeah, that's what I want. I want the truth.
What's the truth, man? Tell me the truth so I know where to land on that shit, bro. And I'm gonna live on that. I'm you know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna cross that line. I'm gonna live down that damn line. What's the truth to it? If you got hit in the face with a brick for real, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
If you staged it, that's a goddamn problem too, man.
That's real. That's real.
Because it ain't just us on our emotional levels looking at that shit. It's other people talking about y'all don't take care of y'all women. You know what I'm saying? You got to balance that shit, man. You got to be okay. What am I willing to risk in that shit, man? It's crazy to me, man. I don't see the purpose of it, man. Unless if it was real, then I understand the purpose. I'm willing to live down that. But if it was staged, you playing too many damn head games with that bullshit.
No doubt. Tony.
Man, I when I saw it, having daughters, man, it kind of made me, not kind of made me upset, man, because thinking to myself, what asshole would hit a woman in the face, hit a woman, period, first of all, with a brick? Second of all, I'm like, damn, she got hit with a brick. But then when it started coming out, when she got all this damn money for getting hit with a brick, I'm thinking to myself, who has time to sit around and figure out how they're gonna make money by staging that they got hit in the face with a brick? Now I've been hit by a car and all type of things, and I ain't getting on nobody's internet and talk about how I got hit with a brick. It would take me a good month and a half to get myself together to even want to talk about why I got hit by the car. Now, if you to get hit with the brick and a few days later you come on live TV and tell me how the brick hit you, that's the problem. Now, I hope that she finds a way not to go around any bricks or any bricks to be in her path, because I think that a brick might hit her by accident if it falls.
Hey, Tony, you said no construction sites and none of that shit, huh?
None of that shit. all of a sudden,
You got one coming.
you got something coming on your damn head. And all what, like, for real, like, it took you, like, I'm trying to figure out how people could sit around in their house and say, I got hit with a brick in the face, and you talking straight, nothing wrong with your lip, no scratches on the side of your face, no black eyes, no nothing, but you got hit with a brick.
Now, when your mama hit your shit up.
Yeah, when your mom hit you with a switch back in the day, it left a mark. Imagine what a brick gonna do to you.
Yeah.
And I got a problem. I wish that she find herself and find that brick to hit her, because I want to see this brick to hit her. I want to see how, was it a brick or was it, I don't know what. Okay.
And what the fuck? And what the fuck is you doing going into a club that got bricks laying all over the motherfucking ground? That ain't no place.
That's what I'm saying. Like that was what I was getting to next. Why you in the club with bricks?
Now let me add this to it. Let me add this to it. The same night. This is what kind of swaying me the other way. The same night, she's in that same club that she was outside going live with, right? She went live outside the club, then she went live in the emergency room, right? Same club. She was in the club with a ski mask on. You know the rudimentary joints with the eyes and the mouth. She was in there partying, right? Now, my suspicious mind, my 30 years of law enforcement, I'm retired from it. I'm like, why are you in a club like that unless you're trying to hide?
What club are you going with a ski mask on? What kind of club are you in with a ski mask? So you got to show your ID. ID got to match your face.
Oh, how that's G.I. Joe mask and shit in the club and shit. I'm going to hit the motherfucker with a brick because I think she's trying to rob and shit.
And I do that she might be telling the truth, but honestly, I'm wavering, man. You feel what I'm saying?
You have concussion, first of all.
Everything. Yeah.
Hey, like my brother Jacory told me one day when I was driving and shit, and I scared him. He's like, "Man, you ain't got the right to make me feel scared like this, motherfucker."
A damn brick.
You know what I'm saying? Come on now, sister. Really? But I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt until I learn further. But
hey,
what's your motivation, man?
You notice how she, how the cameraman, or she didn't pan down and shit, when she was outside the club. Because if you get hit in the brick like that and your shit get all swole and fat like that, you gonna piss on yourself or something, I think.
No, and look, if you get hit with a brick, man, it's gonna be lacerations, man.
That's true.
A brick is rectangular shape with corners and shit on that motherfucker.
My question is, where the brick came from? That's my question.
Yeah.
And if anybody on this panel know what it feels like to get hit with anything, it's my brother Dane.
That's real.
This motherfucker got hit with off clubs and goddamn kitchen sinks and such, man.
All of that.
I got hit in the head. My shit was fucked up for 2 years.
Oh, man. It got but when we was kids, every time you left the house, I used to hug that motherfucker, man. What happened?
I'm gonna tell you.
Golf clubs, whatever. Yeah, you right.
My only problem is this, because we live in a time where there's always a division between men and women in our community. You know what I mean? And where everybody's and you know where it comes from, that narrative where black women are the least protected community out of all the human race and all of that. All these different things. The fact that this is why I even wanted to bring it up. Like the brick lady, what's so messed up about it is simple fact that it had black folks warring between each other. How them black men gonna be there and they gonna allow that to happen? And then they're going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And we're bickering amongst each other. Not just on social media, but just in life, man. You know what I'm saying? And that is the saddest thing that I can think of, man. To be honest.
Indeed.
As a side note, I just like to say I stand with all my black brothers and sisters across the whole diaspora.
Real talk.
I said they weren't black, they were African. It was only a joke.
I hope, Jacory, I hope Deion don't lose. I hope Deion don't lose the game, man, until he go up against Michigan.
Okay, let's talk. You brought it up. Let's talk about it. Are they supposed to play in Michigan?
No, they don't play Michigan. I'm talking about the national title.
Yeah, national title.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, let me form the question for the three of you guys, and I want to do it because I'm very interested in this. Deion Sanders, and it goes along the lines of what I spoke about being humble. Deion Sanders is catching a lot of fire because his stance on how he believes in his program and his kids, right? What do you think about Deion's persona and his approach when it comes to what he does as far as his job is concerned? We'll start with you, Tony.
Man, I think Deion is on the right track, man. And I'll say this respectfully. Colorado is the new HBCU, man. Respectfully. Because last year, the tickets, I looked at it today, I'm a big sports fan. The tickets were $100 to $300 for a Colorado football game ticket. It went from $517 to close to $3,500 ticket. So, respectfully, man, I think Deion has brought an image to Colorado that has never been taken there before. And to see people actually happy in Boulder, Colorado with football, they've never been that happy since Cordell Stewart, Eric Bielemy, and none of those guys that was there. So Deion has brought his faith and football to the city of Boulder, Colorado. So I tell everybody this. I said, Deion is that guy, man, that been through the trenches. He played baseball, football, and he knows how to interact with kids. He was a high school coach at Truth for 4 years with his son. So his son has started every game at quarterback under his father's regime. Man, it's special, man, to see a father and son that can interact at home and
That's
on
crazy,
the football.
man.
That's special, man.
Hey, Tony, every black man wish they could have that, brother. Straight up.
Exactly. It's not about the money. It's about him going out there doing his job and performing well on the football field. And besides the football, he's doing it in the classroom as well.
This
So
dude throwing over 500 yards. Oh, my God.
In
That's
one
crazy.
game. You can't say he's a hell of a football player. Nah, you gotta say he's a hell of a student as well.
Yeah.
And that's not easy. Playing sports and being in college. I know personally that's not easy at all. For him to be doing that and these new NIL deals, when you feel like you ain't gotta go to class and receive a degree, he's pushing his sons to do what he needs them to do to be successful. They always gonna bash Deion because people are always gonna be unhappy because it's not them. No matter what color they are, white, black, Asian, whatever, they gonna bash that man because they are not doing that for their son. I give Deion 100. I met Deion one time. We had a football player in Richmond, David Terrell. He played for Michigan. One of the good guys down here. I know. He played for Michigan. He went to Chicago Bears. He brought him in the barbershop with him one day. Deion was with him. Seeing Deion in person, Deion had the same mentality that he has now. I don't know him personally, but that's an excellent guy, man. That's a very, very great guy. And I hope Colorado, hope y'all see this in Colorado. I salute y'all for what y'all doing up there. Deion, I salute you and your staff for doing what you're doing. Because it's hard to raise a lot of men, a lot of young men to become men. And what he's doing is very, very special. And I hope he continue to do what he's doing. And he'll be the next coach of the Bears too. I'm telling y'all now, he's gonna leave Colorado going to Chicago.
There you go with the Bears. Stop it.
I feel it.
He gonna be with either Florida State.
He's not going to Florida State, man. I told you that last night. But Damon, it's on you, man.
I respect Deion, man, for the fact that he sets the bar high, man. That's why he's been successful with everything he's ever done, man. I'm saying he sets the bar high, and that's his expectation. That he hasn't failed in that regard. But mostly is what Tony talked about with his son, man. Dude, there's not a white, black, or whatever. There's not a person in this country, man, who would not take advantage of having the opportunity to coach their son as great as his son is, man.
Both of them. Both sons, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's unheard of. When has that? Okay, you got my man's played for the Broncos in Indiana. They dad, you know, they dad look at both his sons, between both his sons.
Hold on. They dad, man.
I mean, you talk.
Who you talking
what's my
about?
man name, man?
Quarterbacks.
Yeah, quarterbacks, man. Eli and
Oh, okay. The man.
Peyton and Eli.
Yeah,
Dude, you look at their son played for New Orleans, man. Ain't never won shit, but look at his sons. Between both his sons, he got what?
4 rings.
4 rings.
Yeah.
4 rings.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Deion is on that. He's on that path. You think his son ain't gonna be top 5 man in the draft? And then he got a young brother going both ways too, Hunter, going both ways. He's established. He set it as a standard. You know what I'm saying, and he's doing it within the guidelines of what, you know, with the NIL and all that stuff. He's doing it within the guidelines. Now that's what they mad at him about. You know what I'm saying? Why he didn't keep any players? Hell, there was one in 11, man.
I'm like, it's a sad thing, but I understand your point, though, Damon. For real.
Why would you, if you keep, say, he kept 10 of them. Say he kept 20, 25 of them cats. 25 of them cats, you developing them, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They ain't on the stage where he got the people that he brought in. They ain't on that stage. You developing those people. You know what I'm saying? And how many people you gonna keep, man, for 2 years straight, 1 in 11, man, at a Power 5 school? So when people, you got Saban he got all Americans on the bench. Nobody said anything about that. What about my kids? And guess what they're doing now? They all leaving them because of the transfer portal and stuff.
And that's
all leaving them.
That's what Deion has done. He's empowered these kids to take their destiny in their own hands, whether they make the right choice or not. They're like, yo, I'm not going to just sit here and wait when I know my chances just dwindling away.
He going to be in the pros, man. I don't know if it's going to be Tony. I don't know if it's going to be Chicago, but it's going to be something. It might be Denver. No, not Denver.
No. Who you talking about? Deion?
Deion.
Deion is not coaching professional football, man, because he likes. Look, I'm being optimistic when I say this. He likes coaching young men. You know what I mean?
He's going to have to give up a certain level of control if he goes to the pros. I mean,
that's real. That's real.
What are you going to give up?
It's on you, Dr. Jaquar.
I Hey man, accolades, man. I respect how how he's moving, man. He's basically an example of the American dream, man. He started out at a place, where it definitely held a large amount of prestige, in our community, and he made champions, man, and he moved on, you know, to another situation. I wish there was an HBCU on the scale, of Colorado being a Power Five school that he could have went to. Could you would imagine? I mean, let's say he started out at Jackson State, and Eddie Robinson was goddamn retired. Could you imagine how what he would have did the days he would have did down at Grambling State?
Oh man.
He's created traditions, man. It's you don't find a lot of people nowadays, in the public eye who create legitimate traditions, man. You know, he's creating lineage, man, football lineage. Achievement lineage. He's taking the notion of team sports back to grassroots, man. Sports is a vehicle to develop a young man's education and character, and that's what he's doing. That's it.
Just quickly, my take on Deion and the whole nine is the simple fact that I think a lot of what's going on, when people say they hating on him and this, that, and the other, what he's done is he, along with his brain trust, are able to take full advantage of social media aspect completely, because once the NIL kicked in, it opened up all colleges and how they do things. First and foremost, what it did for the Alumni Association, which used to be illegal, is they put together PACs for their university, right? Where they can funnel all their money into those PACs and actually, in disguise of the NIL, actually offer these kids certain amounts of money to come to their school. And think about it. What's the kid that went to Florida State, then he ended up leaving because Florida State promised him $2 million, but then they reneged on it. I forgot the kid's name. I think it was a receiver, something like that.
I mean, I can't think his name at this moment, but I know you're talking about.
But my point is, that had to do with the money that the alumni put together for kids coming in, making these promises to these kids. Because what the NIL did, and the NCAA thought that it would backfire. It would backfire on the kids, right? It empowered the kids. So what Deion and his brain trust did was, hey, we got you. We're going to publicize you. Because think about it, every time that he has a press conference, he talks about how many viewers was on Fox, how many viewers was on ESPN Game Day.
They talk about them every day, bro.
He talks about that because that is a recruiting tool to have these great kids come to this school. You see what I'm saying? Because at one time, Colorado, when it was in its heyday, the kids that were going there, the black kids that were going there, they were subject to being arrested for being public intoxication and all these different things that's going on. So Deion has an easier path right now because he's resurrecting the program. And he's using it in the right way. It's just this fact that these guys, these bland-ass coaches, they're bland as hell. Because Nick Saban was one of the most flamboyant coaches, and he's bland as hell. Now Deion comes in, And really and truly, what did you think about it? And I follow his shit, man. Think about it. What does he do? He talks about how he supports the kids. He talks about all these different things, but guess what? He don't humble himself in front of that camera. He say, "Yo, I'm a Hall of Famer. I'm the shit." And guess what? I can coach too. And guess what? I love these kids that I'm coaching. That's it in a nutshell. Know what I mean? That's all I have to say. What we'll do is, Tony, it's gonna be on you. Talk about the stand-up. Talk about your acting and where you're taking it.
I'll go back to my stand-up days, man. Let me tell you let you know how it all began. I got laid off from my job. I was working at Value City driving trucks for years. And one day I went into work and it was like, look, man, you can get unemployment, but we no longer need you. I'm like, wow. First I ever been laid off a job before. So, and my previous marriage before, I would never be used to being laid off. So it was like a big thing for me. Unemployment would have been great, but I never want to be in the house sitting around doing things, just sitting there calling every Sunday, getting a check. I mean, it's cool. It was cool for the first couple of weeks, but I knew that, I'm like, nah, that ain't for me. This is boring. When you get bored, you start doing dumb shit. So I was like, so one day we went to Short Pump Mall, and they had an open mic thing. Now at all events like barbershops and family events, high school, college, I crack jokes, I have fun. People laugh, we have fun, but that's only funny to like family members and things like that. So they had an open mic, and we had to bring 10 people. I only brought 6 people to the event, and some people that were there told me I could perform. But I brought, like I said, 10 people, but I only had 6. So they let me perform. It was like 10 different comics there. I think it was like 11 people that performed. My first time, I got second place. Next time I went, I got second place again. I'm like, how the hell I keep getting second place? I'm cool with it, but my expectation is always to win. So I stopped doing the open mic, and I ran across this guy named Eric Young. He's from Denver, Colorado. I call him my little big brother, and he was Michael Blackson's road manager. So he saw me there the same weekend they performed. He's like, man, you want to perform with Michael Blackson? And I only seen him do it on TV and Def Comedy Jams, and I'm like, man, you ain't serious, man. I'm not. Okay, whatever. So I went up there, and I got on stage with him, and I'm talking to him, and started doing business together with him. Then I ended up performing with Faison Love the following week. I was following them all around the East Coast. Now, at this time, I don't have no job, so I'm still in college. I don't have no job. So I'm traveling, working on my computer at home, whatever the case is when I come back to the house. And I'm traveling and moving around, doing things. Then, things are happening. Money started coming in, so I ain't never get a job again. But God put me in the path, man. Put me on clouds with people that I seen on TV that I thought that were magnificent people, but in person they were. They had their problems too. He's always told me, man, finish school, man, finish college, man. It's gonna be here. It's gonna be here. I started traveling and doing things, and I've been doing it now for over 13 years now. 13, 14 years now. But I've kind of slowed down now because I'm on the production side. So the acting thing came along. In school, you do little acting gigs and Sunday school and stuff like that. I always had a keen eye for it. So this play came up, gospel stage play called The Family came up, and one of the guys that came to one of my comedy shows, seeing me perform, like, would you like to be in a play? I'm thinking to myself, man, I don't got time to be sitting there reading no script, man. I ain't got time for all that during the day. So I ended up reading the script, and we talked, and got his contract in place, and I ended up doing a play called The Family. The crazy thing about that play was my mother and my aunt were there at my first acting gig. I was nervous, man. You're nervous in summertime, above 20 miles an hour. My aunt had cancer. My aunt Frances, God bless her soul, and she said she wanted to see me perform. She came, and it kind of was an emotional day for me. That's the last time she ever got to see me perform doing anything. So that kind of pushed my acting thing across the bridge because everything I do it for them. And I just lost my uncle like 2 months ago. He was like a big brother to me. So um, that's one of the reasons why I kind of like cut back on everything because I need time to grieve. My granddaddy raised me, so he knew a lot of things I wanted to do. He pursued me to do what I needed to do. So when I lost him, I was okay, but I got through it. But this last 3-4 years has been like really rough. It made me slow down what I'm doing and put my heart into what I want to do, and that's help kids. Because I always had that knack to help kids. So my job now, as a man that I'm getting older, is that I want to help kids more, but I also produce things as well. So at times, if a comic comes to the city that I might know or I'm cool with, or we have a relationship, we'll do an after party for him, something like that. And usually, I'll be the one putting that in place for to do the after party, getting his hotel straight and things like that for him to go to the club and perform. So I have multiple jobs besides being a father and being again about to be a husband again. But um, what I don't do it for just me because I got to do it. My 17-year-old just got a free ride to Howard University. Thank God. I've been saving money for college, but
Congratulations.
thank you, man. I appreciate that. Academically wise, she got a free ride to Howard University, so I can kind of like save that money a little bit because I know she's gonna need it for groceries and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
put that to the side. But I got two younger kids, that I know that hopefully they'll get a free ride too. So that could be my money to buy me an RV and travel the world with. But I say I'm truly blessed to do what I'm doing, man. Stand up comedy, acting, producing. Used to the school drive called Melody of Life Festival. We brought it to the hood. We gave away free tennis shoes, free haircuts, book bags, etc., etc. So now we just interacting more. I'm more of a community guy now. The fact that a lot of people in the community call me to do different things, and sometimes people think that you have to have money to do these events. It's not about the money. People recognize you for being who you are. If you're a stand-up person and you believe what you're doing, the money doesn't make a difference, man. So I tell everybody that if you want to do something, do it. Everybody think you got to have a lot of money to do these things. I tell people all the time, I'm 46 years old, and I have my credit is not excellent, but it's good enough to do what I want to do, and I want to do it. I don't base my life off money and having this and having that because I know at any time it can be taken away from you. So I build my life up every day for my family because for the simple fact is that we understand in this household that just because it look good don't mean it ain't good. It's a good feeling to be able to go in my closet and give away my clothes because I'm finally at the stage in my life where a pair of Jordans don't mean nothing to me. I'm finally there. I finally got there. I got over 100 pair of sneakers in here, and I'm finally at that stage in my life where I can say now that I can be comfortable in a pair of flip flops, knowing that I'm helping somebody else out. Back in the day, you want to buy a $200 pair of shoes because you want to look fly for nothing. For me, it's nothing now. No, not saying I won't buy a pair of Jordans, but I'd rather spend money on cigars now. So I wear my shoes to work just to dog them out, man, because I believe in helping other people. I mean, that's my biggest goal in life now to be able to help others, man. I mean, I know people don't, say all the time like you helping people, what they doing for you. It's not what they can do for you, man. It's what you can do for yourself.
That's
So
real. That's real.
my biggest goal, man, is to help other people, man, and tell them my story. I grew up in the hood too. I grew up on the bad side of town. My uncle and father were locked up in prison. My granddaddy raised my mother. My granddaddy raised me. So I know how it is to live without. And I'll be damned if we live without again. So I'll make sure I do what I got to do to ensure the quality of my family is always recognized within me. So basically, man, that's my story, man. And like I said, I'm blessed, bro. I got it tattooed on me, man. I'm blessed. So I know I'm blessed. I tell everybody that, man. Negativity always gonna come. I have my bad days. When I get in that car and start it up, I know everybody don't have that same luxury that we have, us four gentlemen have, to be able to sit in our house and enjoy life. Everybody don't have that luxury. Everybody don't have the luxury of going to the refrigerator to get what they want to eat. I have that luxury. My kids have that luxury, so I know I'm blessed. You know what I'm saying? So I love being who I am, man. I can't change for nobody. I'm gonna be me. I tell the kids at my job all the time. You see me coming here smiling, but in the back of my mind, I got my problems too. But you will never know it because I know how blessed I am as a man, man.
That's real.
That's it for me,
That's real.
man.
Shout out to your sister, man. Was it Felicia
Yeah.
and your granddad and
Yeah.
them 13 years you put in, bro? Shout out to that, man. You know, much respect, brother.
Thank you, man. I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank
Hey
you.
man, can I ask you, man, what's like for writing material when you were on the stage, you know, doing stand up, man? What was your process, man? Because
Man, my
I
process,
try that shit, man.
my process, man, for me, like, man, I go by this motive, man. I say, yeah, I said it, because when I said it, I meant what I said. And my other motive is from the streets to the stage. I'm from the streets, man. So from the streets to the stage mean a lot to me, because I'm from, when I get on the stage and I talk about me, I'm not talking about what you did, your brother did, someone else. They'll tell you my story. And a lot of people that come to these shows, they only see it from the outside looking in. Especially somebody like me. If I'm in Mississippi somewhere, and they see me, they're like, "Oh, this black dude, where he from?" And they never heard of powdered milk or stuff like that. So when I tell my story, it becomes funny. They're like, "What the hell that is? What is powdered milk?" So I describe it as automatically funny. So I can only tell my story when I got hit by a car and stuff like that, and what happened, and mama falling off the clothesline, and how your mama used to dress you for school, and make sure your shirt was all tied up like this for picture day. I tell them stories about me, because at the end of the day, I feel like when people lie, you got to keep that lie going. I ain't seen nobody on earth that can constantly lie and lie and lie, keep that same lie going for forever. So if you gonna lie, don't even tell a story.
That's
You
real.
gotta tell the truth. You gotta. So I'm a topic person. So I'm not a big writer. I'll make a topic and I'll go on the topic. And if I say it's cold outside, I'll go on that topic. If I say it's raining, I'll go on that topic. Me writing, I can't sit down that long to just write stuff. So I don't write at all. It's very hard for me to write. A lot of comics that you see on TV, that I've been around, they don't write either. You'll catch them in the green room acting. Like if I go to somebody's city, I'll be like, "What's the main street in Detroit?" And you tell me, and it's a fucked up street. So like I just was on Vessel Street. That shit fucked up, and everybody knows it's already fucked up because they already gonna laugh. So you adapt to where you at basically. So I never sit there
Right.
and write because
Right.
it becomes
Feel
boring in a lot of aspects.
So have
Yeah.
you always been naturally funny, man?
If you ask my mother and them, to them I always been in school. I got suspended one time, man, on senior day. As a matter of fact, I got suspended, man, because I played a prank on my government teacher. He put a list of the grades on the door, and I knew I already passed. So a couple of the kids that ain't passed, I was changing their grades like F to A, and you put the little line down on that, make it A. So I was so so I got suspended from senior day for like 2 days, and
Hey,
but yeah, I was always like the guy, man. I thought I was a rapper at first in high school. You beat on the table, and that was me at first, man. But I figured I couldn't rap, so I just started making jokes and stuff, man, laughing and stuff. So yeah, my goal was to be a rapper at first. I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna be a rapper. Man. I had it all planned out, man. But it ain't worked that way for me.
hey,
No rapping.
you talked about government class. They never told us that the fix was in and shit.
Yeah, I know, right? I know.
Everybody had to take government class.
Everybody at the government, man. I had passed it with a B, but a couple of my homeboys that played basketball with me on the team was getting like they had to go to summer school. So I was like, I'm gonna change y'all on yours before they got there to an A. They was all excited and all that shit. I'm like, hey, y'all passed? Yeah, we passed. The teacher, he put it with the ink pen. He rubbed it. I never forget. He rubbed his hand on the thing, and the line smeared. And they actually did it. And one of the girls in class thought I did it. So yeah,
And
man,
again,
it's
I could have
crazy.
used you my junior year when I got in eligible and shit. With art class and shit.
Oh man, I was
And
trying
I
to take
didn't
all the
show
easy
up.
class.
So so
I bet.
so you went to college
Yes, sir.
and you played basketball in college.
No, I played basketball in high school. I went to college. I went to Virginia State first. I was supposed to play basketball at Virginia State. I never
Virginia
played.
State, Jaquari.
Yeah.
Jaquari's daughter went to Virginia State.
Oh, you did tell me. You told me that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And then I ended up graduating from Strayer University in 2000 and hold on 2013. I ended up graduating 2013.
First time I was on Virginia State campus, man, I felt like I had to protect the motherfucker. I'm like, damn, I'm up here. Remember that spoke?
Crazy part. I
I said
live 15
I had
minutes
to
from the campus.
respect. I had to protect the motherfucker. We
You said you live where? How far?
15 minutes from the campus. 15 minutes from the campus. No.
So you grew up near there.
No, I grew up in the East End of Richmond, in the
Okay.
Churchill area. Yeah, I grew up out there. I came out here. I lived downtown. Then my lady, we came out here to Chesterfield. Yeah,
Hell,
but it's
look,
been good times. So
you and Jaquari got so much in common. It ain't funny.
that's
I'm
my
saying,
guy, man.
didn't Nisa girl stay downtown? Spoke.
Yeah. That's why you had to protect somebody. We was we was in D hood, Jack.
Yeah,
Listen,
that's the hood. Trust me, it's the hood, dog. It's definitely the hood.
I was on my way up north, right, and Jaquari asked me to pick his daughter up. So I went on Virginia State campus, right, and there ain't no road through that joint.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah.
So I had to sit there and wait for her, and I'm sitting here watching. I'm like, damn. You know what I'm saying?
Man.
It's gonna be one way into the whole goddamn campus.
Yeah.
Man.
Like shit. Hey man, I gotta pick your brain, man. You know, have you ever during the performance, man, have you ever bombed so bad, man, that you didn't know what to do, man? And if you did, how did you recover from that shit?
Man, I'm telling you, man. I did it. If a comic say he never done it, he's lying. I've done it, man. And when the room get quiet, there's nothing you can do. I'm gonna be honest with you. It happens, man, because you can be thinking you on your A game and you tell a joke and it just sounds like my garage sound, real quiet. And you looking around like they really ain't laughing. There's nothing you can do. There's absolutely nothing you can do. And a lot of comics, I'm gonna put y'all on game. A lot of comics, when they do bomb and they get no laugh, they start talking about Jesus. They start talking about the church. If they bombing, they go straight to God. I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell you. I've seen it. I've been in the room like, oh shit, they really quiet.
Hey, Tony, they don't do the Bernie Mac thing. I ain't scared of you, motherfuckers.
Nah, they go to church. They go straight to church. Let me tell you about my pastor. You be like, oh Lord, what? They go from a whole cousin. They go through from a whole cousin aspect to. Let me tell you what Jesus did to me. I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. And they be like, oh, yeah, be bummed. And then you can do it. It's bad.
Yeah.
And the bad part is after you bomb and get off the stage, and you say like, well, y'all have a good day. They'll clap for you afterwards like you did a good job. That's the fucked up part about it. You're like, what the fuck? Shit weird, man.
Hey,
Oh my
weird.
God, that
And they happy to see you leave.
Yeah.
You don't know you bomb because when
Oh, my God.
when you on the outside of the green room and taking pictures, they skip by your ass and they're taking pictures with everybody else and shit. You try to get the video like, nah, stay over there. You stay over there. I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah. I've done it, man. Trust me.
Hey, Joel, you got to follow up to that, man. Yeah, I know it's fit to be some funny shit, bro.
Yeah, that shit. Oh man, she tell you hot out, man. You want like your job just laid you off or some shit.
Yeah.
Like you be like, damn, what the fuck? And it happens. It's gonna happen. Like I heard a dude tell me one time. He said, "Man, we was at the Richmond Funny Bone." He said, "Man, I ain't never bummed. I don't know how that feels." I said, "Okay." So he went up there. He had like a 15-minute set. The first couple jokes, they were hee hee hee. That's how you know you about to bomb because they get a little hee 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 laugh. One or two people hit you with that. And he up there talking, he laughing, they look at him like, he said, yeah, so God. I was like, there you go. And there it is.
Hey, Tony,
There
how
it
you
is.
did with hecklers, man?
I go into their ass, man. I go into their ass. Especially like when you hosting or something, man, and you know, they sit in the front row and they try to say like, yeah, they staring at you. You like, what the fuck is you staring at? And you let them have it. eventually, because that first 2 rows is big.
Yeah.
I tell anybody, if you come to a show and you want to sit in the first 2 rows, they gonna get your ass. So if you say them to me and I hear it, I'm on your ass for at least 3 minutes. I'm gonna make sure you know I heard you. Then after the show, I'm gonna shake your hand like, I hope you have a good day. And you don't want to ever again. You don't want to do that ever again. Nah, man. Nah. I'm on your ass immediately. I stop. Who you talking to? You talking to me? Okay. And I'm gonna you gonna have something fucked up, or your lady gonna be fucked. One of y'all gonna be fucked up. So come on. Somebody gonna get this work. I'm telling you, man.
I don't know if it's customary, but what do you feel was your greatest set, man? That you really reflect on?
Man, I was in Atlanta, and I was with Michael Blackson one night, and the guy Darian Fleet another night. So the Darian Fleet show was the first show we did, and I was trying out stuff for the next night at the Michael Blackson show. But the Michael Blackson show did not happen in Atlanta. We ended up coming back to Virginia Beach doing that show. So went from Atlanta to Virginia Beach. So my set in Atlanta was a new set. So I worked on it. So I was kind of nervous about it, but it worked out well. So I got back to Virginia Beach. I tried to call all my homeboys, like, meet me in Virginia Beach. I had a new set. Now I know y'all gonna laugh, but I don't know how the hell they gonna feel. So that day it stormed, and my home was like, we ain't driving down no beach in the storm because it's wet down there and we don't want to go across that water. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So now I'm real nervous. I'm like, this shit ain't gonna work. So I come to the stage in Virginia Beach before Mike come on the stage, and I'm trying new stuff out. They laugh. I mean, they laughing hard. And I thought it like 30 minutes, so I ended up doing an hour. He kept telling me, go ahead, go ahead. So the takeaway from that is that I created something on the run. And, you know, it worked out great. And I met a lot of different people, man. And they were like, damn, like, I really appreciate that. You made me laugh. Besides, you know, you're a new guy. You really made me laugh. So what I mean by when I say that is the fact that you never know who you're going to meet and what they're going through, man. Because you can be similar to so many people and not even know it. You know, and they were like, man, I'm on your team with that. I was talking about, I pay child support for one of my kids. I was talking about the child support payments and shit, and dude was like, you know, I really felt you on that. And he was like, man, you made my day. And I asked him how much he paid. I was like, God damn, you how you live? You pay $1,000 a month? Well, shit, look at you. And it made the crowd laugh. He was like, shit, I really thank you, man. I appreciate that. But that was one of my greatest sets because the people down there didn't even know me, and they embraced me like a brother. Like, they would invite me to parties and sign me. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like, I feel like a celebrity. I'm a normal guy though, but it made me feel good inside because people like really, really like, you know, bought into what I was doing, man. That was the beginning of my career. I'll never forget that day, man. It was a beautiful thing, man.
What you think about your boy Charleston White, man?
Man, let me tell you something, man. It takes a lot of balls to be Charleston White, man. It takes a lot of balls. Meaning that he came to Richmond, and I was in the show actually. When he saw it, I never met him before. I didn't want to meet him because I thought people wanted to beat his ass. So I don't want nobody to be around. Nobody wants to get their ass beat. So I go watch him. I'm like, yeah, like 6 security guards around. I'm like, I see why you get talking shit you talk. So many people around you that they can't get to you. And that was a regular Joe like me. He was talking shit about everybody, man. I'm talking about people, kids. I'm talking about, man, celebrity kids. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with him? But if you had to ask me how he was, I'll say he's a complete ass, man. Like in a funny way though, because he don't care, man. He say what he say, and he let go. He called people kids. He called Tiny and T.I. son ugly, man. He was going in. I'm like, oh my god. And
hey, look. Keep it. I'm gonna keep it a buck. You brought up their son. Their son do look like he burns in daylight though, for real.
Yeah, he do though, man. He was going in. He was talking about Beyonce. He was talking about, man. I'm talking about, oh man, he was lighting shit up, man. He was turning shit down. This is crazy, man. But he sold it out though. I tell you that he sold it out. every time we did.
Cool.
Yeah, him and old boy was beefing. What's my man name?
Um, Ti, him, he beat the Ti, all them dudes, man.
Not Ti,
We
but
don't.
the recent guy.
The old head comic. What is his name?
Yeah,
Oh,
think he a pimp.
I know you're talking about. Damn, it's his name right now. That's exactly what you're talking about though. Yeah, but he be with everybody, man. He one of them
Yeah,
dudes, man.
yeah. All right. Well, look. I'm gonna give you a couple moments, Tony, to talk about what you want to talk about, and then Damon, we're gonna go into your final segment. But
Man,
this is for you, dog.
I just wanted, man, for real, man. Like, I mean, I get on here, man. I'm like I said earlier, man. I cuss a lot, man, sometimes, but I'm extremely blessed, man. So I don't really want this to be about me, even though it is. You said it was. I appreciate that, man. I'm more of a guy that appreciates his surroundings, man. So if I can ask y'all some questions, man, y'all can answer for me. And just being Mr. Armstrong's brother, man, the way he treats me, you know what I'm saying, when I'm around him, man, and how humble he is, and and how he has that, like, every morning he come to work, man. If I'm standing behind him, around him, whatever the case, if I'm near him, he always will give me a pound, like, good morning, with his 85 7-Eleven bags in his hand and shit. he always gonna find me, man. You know what I'm saying? And he
Yeah.
always gonna come to me and be like, "College, man, what's up? You good? You need anything?" I mean, before you even leave the door, he say, "You need anything, man?" And everybody don't do that, man. Between him, Mr. Henson, Mr. Morris, and Mr. Armstrong, man, I always can count on them to come by me and say something. If I'm having a bad day, they'll notice it. He'd be like, "Carl, you want some coffee?" I don't even drink coffee. He's like, "You want some coffee?" He know I don't drink coffee, but every morning he see me, "You want some coffee?" And that shit be smelling good as hell. Like, no bullshit. I want to know, man, how was it growing up with him, man? Like, is this the same dude that y'all know, man?
I mean, you want to go first, Damon, or do you want me to go?
The dude he is, man, is what it is, man. He don't deviate from it. You know what I'm saying? He take on all challenges. You know what I'm saying? But the one thing he understands, man, is being himself is what it really is about, man. And you either take it or leave it. It's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And he don't take it personal, man. If you don't stand with him, you know what I'm saying? He a real dude, man. I mean, he is straight up about what it is that he believes, and that's all you can ask from a brother, man. You know what I'm saying? We grew up in the same houses. Three of us grew up in the same houses, man. Same house, and we have our opinions, man, but we respect each other and we love each other, and we understand that we can live with each other. You know what I'm saying? With the differences, we can live with each other.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So,
And he's always been the same guy, man. Since he's like 12, 13 years old. Same guy, man. Same guy.
that's dope, man.
Like me, I'm the oldest, Damon's the middle child, and Ja'Cory is the youngest child. And me personally, I take a more mature view of him because my parents, my mother and father, put me in charge of me and my brothers. They were at work or doing anything extracurricular. So when it comes to it, I made it my point to understand both my brothers, who they are as individuals, period. You know what I'm saying? You asked me about Damon, I'll break it down to who I see him to be in my eyes. But you asked me about Ja'Cory, I see him as he has always been, because he was the youngest child, because he spent more time with our father when our father softened, right? When he softened and he was able to, because Damon and myself were a year apart, and we were the prototype when it came to my father. My father loved all three of us, right? But he and my mom had us at 19, 20 years old. So we grew up with them. And he was a man from Mississippi, and he was in them streets, but also he was raised by his mother and his stepfather to be responsible. So he gave that to us. So when it came to Jaquari, and Damon said this one day, he said, when it comes to the three of us, Keith, you have the conviction. He said, me, I have the overall heart of it. I said, Jaquari has the both. He has the best of all four of us. My mother, my father, me. He has the best of it.
Fill in the gaps.
He is the individual. Like me, I was by myself. So I led. I had to lead because I had to take care of myself. Damon, he led, but he and I were companions along the way. Jaquari is 8 years younger than me. So he grew up with my mother and father. You know what I'm saying? And they had softened. And this is no joke, they had softened. So he was a constant companion of them. So his development of who he is and how he feels, I've always admired. I've always admired who he was, because when he say, and my language is going to be harsh when I say that, when he said, I don't give a fuck, he don't give a fuck. You feel what I'm saying? If he and he has the discernment, and this is key, he has a discernment on individual people, male and female people. He
Yep.
can discern what kind of people you are.
Yep. Hey, can I interject something real quick, Keith?
Yeah.
My kids, man, my oldest is 28. Her husband is 28. My youngest daughter is 23. My son will be 22. I mean, 24 and then 22. They get on this podcast and they looking at their Uncle Corey and be like laughing like a motherfucker. And the next day they tell me, man, Uncle Corey said this and Uncle Corey said that. And I'm like, well, what about me and Keith? He was like, y'all some old ass motherfuckers, man. My Uncle Corey know us. Real talk. Real talk. That's what they do, man. My kids, man, tune in to hear what the hell their Uncle Jacory have to say. They love that Uncle Spoke Say segment. Because it's going to trip them out. But it's not going to be something that they don't understand or they can't relate to. He has that skill set to do that, man. So you think about my kids, my brother Keith kids, me and him and our parents. He has that generational gap, man, that he feels, man.
He does. He does. And look, and to finish answering your question, what he is, you know what I mean? Because you gotta understand, we are Armstrong. The three of us, we are Armstrong. That is, whether you want to listen to the boom or not, that carries everything when it comes to men.
You know what he do, man?
You feel what I'm saying? So with him, when he gives you something, it's real. Nothing more than that.
Hey, I called him with some issues and shit or whatever, and he'll listen if it's personal. He'll listen if it's personal, but if it's on some other bullshit, hey man, you know I ain't trying to hear that shit, bro. Right? Hey, dude, I'm just calling to talk. No, you ain't. You on some bullshit, man. But you know what though? I'm gonna leave with that, and we'll talk tomorrow. That's him.
But that's the best way I can answer, because like I
Not
say, man, when I say that we are Armstrong, you know what I mean. Whether you want to doubt it or not, the proof is in the pudding, man. This is who we are. That's it.
He keeps the Armstrongs honest, man, within themselves. That's what my brother do, man. He keep us honest.
nah. The reason I asked that, man, because you know what I mean. I just meeting these older brothers, man. Like I said, I'm preaching to be old, man. But I'm around this dude these 4 times a week, man. And I be like, damn, it's the same dude. You know what I'm saying? Like I ain't seen the dude change up yet, bro.
No
You know what I'm saying? What I mean
nonsense,
by that is
man.
he come to work. I be like, what's up, man? Or I'm there on my day off. He's like, he know this. When I'm on my day off, I come to work do a training. He's like, you getting that money again? I'm like, yeah, I got money up. And we talk like, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been on there for like 10 years. I'm like, damn, cuz you can't do that with everybody. But him, man, he like a big brother. I'm like, look, Armstrong, like, what's up, man? You good today? Yeah, I'm good. I'm about to go outside for the goddamn cigarette to get on my nerve. Like, oh shit. I know, like, you good? Yeah, I'm good. He'll come back in the job, like, again, 11 bag again and shit. Like, you got a snack now. You straight gonna be good until about 3 o'clock and shit. You know what I'm saying? That's my dude, though, man. Like, I could always go to the office and sit there and chat with him, man, about the kids, anything, man. So that's why I was asking, man. This dude, this is a genuine dude, man. Like,
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
I hand him as a guy, he's like, oh, it's for me?
This dude,
Like, yeah, it's
man.
for you, man. You my guy. I gotta make sure you're straight, man.
Hey Tony, this dude took a responsibility of our mother, man.
That's
He
dope,
won't
man.
he won't accept the responsibility, but he did. He gave me peace of
Dude, dope.
mind. Well, I can deal with my family. I was like, he got that shit. I'm good.
Let me tell y'all a story y'all ain't know from work. I'm gonna tell y'all this quick story. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We was in this training class, man, about goddamn, what was it, February strong? We was in class. His fucking class was like FiOS type shit. We hooking up wires and all that shit, man. So the first day we were in class, me and Strong sitting there like, all right, that shit seemed like kind of cool. We started going to the lab part of it. They got glass and all that shit. So me and Strong sitting beside each other in class, you know, we tripping out. He look over at me and say, you know, you none of this shit when we get back to the institution, right? So I bust out laughing. In class and shit. I'm like, what they pay? I said, man, how you know me? He said, we ain't gonna use none of this shit. They give us a week off training. I take this shit every time. So this past couple weeks, they've been asking us about the little C-Tech training shit, like we would do it. He called me the office and he said, you remember that shit? I was like, no, I remember that shit. He said, me neither. Fuck it. We would act like oh, that's my guy, man. That's my guy.
Yeah.
Heck, man. They sending me back to that shit, dude.
Oh, nah. Yeah, that shit. He said, you remember this shit? I said, no. He said, no. Fucking me neither. I was like, all right, shit, we on the same page. Fuck it. But yeah, that's my guy, man. Y'all got a hell of a brother, man. I'll say that.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Say that on my y'all got a hell of a dude on y'all team, man.
Well, look, we know it, Tony. We know it. Fluke, go ahead, bring us home, and then we gonna take it to the house, man.
You know, I'm 57 years old, bro, and as I look at life, man, I look at life through my experiences, man. You know what I'm saying? And I have to recognize my experiences. You know what I'm saying? And hold on to them. You know what I'm saying? It is what I am. You know what I'm saying? It defines who I am. And we talked about my baby brother. You know what I'm saying? He's that dude. You know what I'm saying? So when I think about that, you know, when I think about that aspect, man, it's like, okay, I see how he is. So when I call him, we're not missing words. He gonna tell me how he feel. You know what I'm saying? And what I respect about him is that he's honest about it. He's honest about it. You know what I'm saying? And he tell me, hey, Fruit, I ain't trying to hear that shit right now, man. You know what's happening. Talk to me tomorrow. And he don't take it no further than that. He don't offend me. He allowed me to think about what I'm saying to him. And I respect that about him. As far as my brother Keith is concerned, man, he has an expectation. Neither one of these guys ever deviated from that. You know what I'm saying? So what you're getting is what you're getting, and there's no confusion there. You're not being tripped up, and you're not being whatever. There's no ego. We don't never deal with each other with ego, man. It's all about what we know about each other, and we recognize it. So that's how we speak to each other. And I think as black men, I think that's how we have to do with each other. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And then individually we have to decide whether or not that works for us. But at least that's somebody giving you an opportunity to make a decision based upon yourself, if I'm making sense. You know what I'm saying? It's not about nobody trying to tell you how to think. It's about people holding you to that expectation. You know what I'm saying? Who holds you to your best self? That's what it is. Be it bad or good. You know what I'm saying? Like my dad told me one day, man, I can deal with me making my mistakes in my life, man, than anybody else. I can learn from it and then, make adjustments to it. So I'm not going to fall for the bullshit. Because I got people in my life, man, that's going to tell me the truth. Even if I don't want to hear it. Even if I don't want to hear it. So, what are you? Are you that person, man, who's argumentative? Or are you that person, man, who listens to somebody who somewhat know your ass and tell you the truth? I'm saying you can live your life from that, man. Hey, I ain't like what my brother said, but he was right. I'm saying I don't like what my parents said, but they were right. Who's going to benefit from that? Who's going to challenge you, man, on your bullshit? I'm saying you have to figure that out. And that's life. That's life, man. Life is all about knowing whether or not you all about your ego shit and you want to be right when the person that knows you the most tell you that, no, man, that's not cool, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's not you. They're not arguing with you about the shit. They're just telling you. My brothers don't argue with me about shit. They just tell me, hey, come on, dog, for real. I'm like, what the fuck you talking about? We'll talk tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? They ain't put me on blast. They're just telling me, hey, we'll talk tomorrow, man. But right now, you on some bullshit. And I'll be like, next day I'll be like, did I really say that shit? Yeah, you did. Out of anger or angst. Shit.
Yeah.
And you have to deal with it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? And then you come to the conclusion that that's out of love, man. That's not an embarrassment or fronting or whatever. That's out of love. And then they remind me, hey man, remember your cousin said this about you and they gave you this compliment. That's you. That's you. That's real shit. They call me and ask me about you every day. They remind you of your best self. The people that love you the most tell you the truth and they remind you of your best self. And they make you pay attention to the people who hear you and figure that shit out. And like I said in the beginning of this whole podcast, I said we influence people, man, that we might not ever meet in life, man. And that's what my brothers remind me of, man. They remind me of people I would never meet, even when I'm in my feelings and shit. If that makes sense.
Well said, brother. Well said.
As always, do your thing. You always do your thing, dog. Tony, first, Jaquari, any last words?
Hey, Mr. Collins, man, I value your time, man, and I appreciate you, cutting out a little bit of it, to share with us this evening, man. I learned a lot about you, brother, and the things that I learned, man, has only reinforced my respect level for you, man. Like I told,
brother. You already know.
Like I told you yesterday, man, once you come on the first time, your spot is automatically recurring. So,
Yes, sir.
come on and plug the show, plug an event, come on and rap about whatever you want to rap about. Let us know, man. We'll get you on here.
Appreciate that, man. Thank you.
Damon, last words.
Hey man, I'm following your career, man.
Thank you.
When you tell that joke about, man, this motherfucker had a Lions sweatshirt on, and he was talking that shit. I'm gonna know you talking about me, man.
I was trying to figure out earlier, man. You had dye in your head, or great streak in your joint, man. I had to zoom my phone.
That's what I'm talking about, man.
First of all, both my brothers got the same thing, and my dad had the same thing, man.
I was wondering. Hey, I knew it was something, man. Hey, I knew it was something, bro.
Hey, Tony, it's that Indian in our blood.
I see. I was like, that's a streak or that. Okay, all right, I got it.
So when you are on all the late night talk show host joints, I'll be like, yeah, he talking about me, but that's all right.
I'm gonna look at Cops tonight too. See Mr. Keith on Cops. He said 30 years. No, he was on one episode somewhere on Cops. I gotta look on Cops, and I'm looking at Cops about 11 o'clock. They come on like 11 o'clock on True TV. Somewhere Cops. That's Mr. Keith right there, man.
Look, thank God they never came down to where we was, man. Because problem. All right, well, look, my last words is this, brother. Let us know what we'll do, because we on here every Friday. What we'll do for you is, if you got some upcoming event, we're going to blast it out to our listeners, our followers, man. We're going to big you up, because that's what's what. You feel me?
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
All right, and Tony, any last words, brother?
Hey, man, blessings to all who may be watching or going to watch in the near future, man. Respect yourself, believe in yourself, and always love yourself, man. I love y'all.
Yeah, love you too, brother.
Love you
Yes,
too.
sir.
All right, this is Strong Perspective Podcast. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel. It's Strong Perspective Podcast. That's our channel. That's the name of our channel. Go in there and like, share, and subscribe. Look out for us, baby. Stay on, Tony. We're going to be on for a couple minutes after this.
Okay.
Stay on. Look, it's about good people like Tony Collins out here, where, the world needs to hear from these kind of folks, man. The world needs to hear from these kind of, you know why? Because these kind of folks, including ourselves, we make the world go around. Our attention is geared toward making the famous people. You know what I'm saying? It's what it is. But this is Strong Perspective Podcast. Y'all have a good night. Have a good week. Peace to y'all.